What's up guys, Shay Stevens here, PDGA number 77522, and it's time for my In the Bag for 2024. Let's get to it. So in 2023 we had a lot of big releases and I had some form changes, so my bag has changed up since last year's In the Bag. Starting off though, the bag itself has not changed. I'm still rocking my Voyager Pro V2. It is a little bit beat up though. The bag padding is getting a little worn out here, as you can see. So this might be the last year for this guy, we'll see. But still, good reliable bag, good price point. So things I'm carrying in this thing, just my right side's kind of like my trinkets. I got my Bushnell rangefinder on the side here. My sponsor tag for Team Phoenix Discs, some, all my PDGA membership renewal tags. So right side pocket. This was honestly the best piece of advice. I forget who gave it to me. It was somebody in the comments. I need to find out who that was and thank them. Alcohol wipes have been a game changer. After lockdowns, I don't know what the deal is. I am just very reactive to poison ivy. I don't know what the deal is. I used to be able to walk through that stuff, and as long as I got a shower that night, I was good. But now, like within an hour, I'm usually all flared up. So having alcohol wipes to take that oil off, big hassle saver. So really appreciate that advice. What else I got here? And I also have let's see, some bug spray because no one wants limes. And I keep a pair of shears in there just in case I want to do some course work, a little maintenance, trim up some walking paths and such during my round. I do that. On the left side here, I got my foundation towel. Love these things. Good. Just nice and texture to really, get mud off your disc if you need to. Added a ground bound pad to my bag. I got it as a player's pack gift and thought it was, again, one of those, stupid little, tchotchke items. But I somehow seem to find myself having to putt from a knee on rocks more often than I want to. And this has been pretty clutch. So happy to have that on the bag. This side, I call this my dry pocket, so it's got all my towels, my disc retriever in here. This is where water happens. Up in front, I usually just keep some minis in here. Keep a macro Tesla for some fun, an actual mini driver if playing ripped or something, and somebody demands I throw an actual mini. I'll have the mini driver. And then, as I've said in the past, top storage space is really nice, but it's like if you put you want to put your hoodie in here, plenty of room. I like to have it a little more organized, so I actually took an idea from an old teammate. I took a purse organizer, and it slots in perfectly here up top, and that's where I keep my go-to mini, the Pokeball, still with me. Got to catch them all. And then up in here, I got grip bags. I keep my there's another. I got a 3D printed Flyers logo mini someone gave to me, and I have a friction glove. I love those things, especially in the winter. They really save my hands. And then I have, my clipboard, pencils, a Sharpie, just, basically my stationery in the stationery pouch. So yeah, for this year, again, sticking with the Voyager Pro V2. All right, time to get down to business, the discs. So starting off with the putters I keep in my top pouch here. First off, I have a Discraft Luna. You might be saying, Shay, what the heck? I thought you were all MVP. I still am. I just usually keep a disc that I get out of a player's pack or something in my bag in case I run into somebody who, is throwing a lid or has a starter set and only has 150 class discs. So I can hook them up with something. So keep a Luna there for now, and when I give it away, I'll put something else in there. My putt and putters this year I'm sticking with the anode in Electron Medium Blend. So the Pixel was vying for the position, but in the end, I feel like I have just cleaner releases with the anode, and I do like the finish on them. They make me commit to the putt more, which has been a problem recently. So I like the fact that I have to commit to get this thing into the chains. So sticking with them for now. They're not necessarily new putters. I have a backup bag, and my main two putters they just got too chunked up. My last event, I was using them, and I was like hitting burrs on the edge of the disc when I was trying to putt. So retired them to my practice pile and just upgraded these two guys from the practice bag to the main bag. Next up, though, the Pixel did get into the bag. It kicked my anodes out for upshots. I am loving the soft blend. It is actually soft, and I just play catch with the basket with this thing. I'm in love with it. It's just a great approach disc for me. Having a lot of fun with it. So that's more of my neutral approach disc. My more overstable side, I have an Electron Entropy. I love this disc. I really hope maybe with the arrival of the new blends of Electron, MVP might be able to figure out the problems they're having with the Electron blend and the Entropy mold and make more of these, because I just love it. It's just nice, soft, reliable stability, not crazy overstable. I really like it just for like those little like chip forehand shots, just to get me nice and close to the basket with a little chance of roll away. And finally, I have a really old 2019 MVP Open Plasma Entropy. I really like this run. They were nice and low profile. Kind of reminded me almost of the DGA Breaker, but just, you know, again, just a nice beat up disc. It still has that bite at the end, but I can really push this guy nice and straight if I need to. And I can do some really nice finesse shots with it. It feels really clean on forehand. That's where it really shines for me, as a forehand approach disc. So those are my top pouch putters. My throwing putters, I have a really beat old Electron Envy. This thing is a sneaky bomber. I don't know, just every once in a while I will connect with this thing and I can get this thing to like 340 on stupid hyzer flips. It's got me into some trouble every now and then because I overshoot my target big time, but I just really love this disc. I usually hit with like about 10, 15 degrees of hyzer, and it just gets to flat, maybe gives me a little bit of turn, and then comes back to center, so I can really lace some gaps with this thing. And I just love it for big turnovers, especially if, you know, I'm maybe 100 feet out and I'm pinned in the rough. I have to do like a step out patent pending. I know this thing will hold the anhyzer for me and bend like I need it to. It's just a good beat up, reliable disc. I've thrown it for years now and just have a lot of trust in it. Still have the Ironmouth Envy that Justin Rolfe hooked me up with. I love this disc. Again, he goes, my colors are red and black, so I love the, you know, black core, red rim combo. And this one has just been beaten. You've seen me throw it a lot last year. It's just a laser straight putter. I had to revisit it because I had to get, you know, reacquainted with some of the angles, and I'm able to like manipulate now. It's basically a longer version of that Pixel that I can just, you know, put it on an angle and it will pretty much hold true to it. And then we have another Plasma Entropy. This is with the stock run. These were, I feel like they're a little bit taller. Had a little bit of dome on them, so there's a bit more glide on this guy, but definitely a lot more bite. So this is much more overstable. This is that disc I know I can just rip it flat and it's going to get left. My set shot with it is about 200 feet, and I'm just really comfortable throwing this shot and knowing I don't have to worry about a distance check. I know it'll take care of all that work for me. And then in addition, from the 2023 circuit, the Tempo. I know a lot of you guys are eager for the stock release, so am I. I would say this is the NVOS. I've talked about it a lot online. I can just smash this thing flat and know it is not going to get over on me, but it's going to push really far and have a good forward penetrating fade. And it goes about as far as my Envies do. So really just, it's a great disc for those shots where you got to hit a tunnel and then finish, and you don't want to lose it to the side. I can just trust this thing, know I can hit it really hard. And I've really been experimenting with some flex lines. Just give it a little bit of anhyzer, and you get some really just nice, tight S shots out of it. It's just a really great utility disc. So thankful MVP added this to the lineup. I'm really enjoying it, and hopefully we get a stock release soon. But yeah, those are my my putters for 2024. Up next are the mid-ranges, and I have really been leaning on this slot hard recently, and they have been delivering. Just love how much trust I have in this setup right now. Don't foresee any major changes coming in the near future. Starting off understable, got a 2021 Gyrapalooza uplink, and I just love this disc so much. It's great for hyzer flips, big turnovers, and I just love the trust I can put in this disc on angles. I don't have to worry about turning and burning. Don't really lose it left all that often on backhand. I've even done some cheeky little forehands with it, but where it really shines for me is just hitting it with like 15 degrees of hyzer and just getting it to pop up and ride. It's just, for tunnel shots, I have a lot more confidence when I'm able to pull this disc out and use it. Next, in the neutral slot, we got a Fission Reactor. This one has been with me for over a year now. Really love it. Just, it's so beat now. Just give me a nice actual pan, kind of almost like a brand new hex flight. Just a little bit of panning to the right, and it finishes back nice and reliably to the middle. And then it's a slot that I lean on a lot because I can really manipulate that disc. So I've added a second one to my bag. Shout out to Mark Steffenhofer, who dyed this up for me, my logo on a fission reactor. This one was in my backup bag last year, just working in, and it got to the point where it's right where I want it to go into the bag, so it's a little more stable than the other reactor, but it's a good backup in the event of I need something with a little more bite at the end, or heaven forbid I lose that one. I have this guy on deck ready to go. A little more overstable side, you hear Simon and Eagle singing the praises of this disc. Everyone who's been an MVP for a while knows it's a great mid-range. The Pyro. Shout out to TK Disc Golf, still rocking your stamp. Kind of maybe like Champ Rock 3-ish. Just another good, like, kind of like the Tempo, but longer. It's a 5-speed. Just hit it flat. It's going to go and give you a nice forward pushing hyzer at the end. And you can hit with some ante to stretch it out, but you don't have to worry about turning and burning it. It's very workable and overstable. So even, I think, lower arm speeds, this would basically be your overstable mid, and it'll give you a little more variety of shot shape compared to throwing something very overstable. And speaking of very overstable, I have been loving this disc recently. The Deflector with the Golf is Dead stamp on it. Don Freeman hooked me up with this years ago. This thing is it's just nice and beefy, and it forgives my mistakes. Especially on forehand, I have a tendency recently to kind of pop the disc up a little bit more on anhyzer than I intend to. And for a deflector, that's no problem at all. It's going to fight out and go get the finish. Backhand, it's just very comfortable in my hand. I can just mash on this thing as hard as I want, and I know it's going to do two things. It's going to fly a little bit forward and then finish. Skip shots too, I really enjoy if I get pinched on a corner, doing a little like step back patent pending and just flare skipping this off the ground, and I get probably more time or more air time off of the skip than I do from the actual throw. So just a great utility, workable, overstable mid-range. I think a lot of players can have fun with it. You just got to know, don't try to kill it and just have fun with it, and it can do some cool things for you. But those are my mid-ranges going into 2024. All right, on to the fairway drivers, and if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am really having trouble with this slot right now. It used to be my bread and butter. I have more fairways than distance drivers. I'm a woods golfer, so usually you want that accuracy more than distance. And I just fell out with my fairways. I don't know what happened. I was playing shorter courses, and I'm really leaning heavily on my mid ranges. But yeah, I've been putting a lot of work trying to figure out my fairways again. So this, there's been some changes here, but hopefully I'll get it dialed in. But there might be some, subtractions and additions as I get things figured out. Starting off though, one disc I know I can trust, the Neutron Rhythm. This thing is from the Circuit Challenge. Absolutely love it. Did lose it twice this year though. First time was just in leaves during a late round. Had to walk away from it as we were losing light. And then I lost it again after a tree kick put me into Neshaminy Creek. But fortunately, two awesome guys found it and got it back to me through the Lost and Found box. So really appreciate it. I have backups, but you really hate losing a disc that you love. And yeah, this thing is just understable, reliable. I used to throw the relay for this slot, but I found that it and the uplink were flying very similar to me without much distance separation. The Rhythm being a 7-speed though, gives me that extra push, so I know if I need a hyzer flip or a turnover shot and I need that extra distance, I can reach for this over an uplink and be very confident. A returner to the bag, 163 gram Fission Volt pre-flight numbered. So I took this disc out of my bag in favor of the Trance, because what I found was occasionally it would just turn over a bit and just not come back. And I wasn't able to figure out the stability point of when that would happen. So I took it out of the bag in place of the Trance. And I've since been doing a lot of form work. And I found that since I cleaned my form up, I have a little bit less, off-axis torque and wobble. And this disc is just flying super clean and far for me. Whereas the Trance now, I have an interesting issue where I don't know what I have to do to get it to turn over and ride a little bit. So on shots where I want to get a little bit of flex out of it before it fades, it was just pushing straight, dumping early. So just by working out in the field, I found I kind of fell back in love with this Volt. So it's returning to the bag for 2024. This has been my go-to fairway for a while now, though. The Proton Volt was I won a tournament, had some winnings. It's one of the few MVP discs the guy was carrying, and I just love, it's got a little bit of dome to it. Feels really nice. I usually don't throw Proton because it's kind of hard for me to see. But this is just very reliable. It handles forehand torque, no problem. And it just gives me a little, I can get it to, turn it over a little bit, get some nice tight S shots out of it, and some great distance. So this is kind of my my go-to fairway off the tee for when the shot calls for it. And I've really been enjoying it. Terra, I've been relearning this disc again and kind of falling in love with it all over again. This is the one I got from my tester batch, and I just love how unique it is for an overstable fairway. Most overstable discs kind of are usually flat top. This has got a little bit of dome, and they usually, when they start to fade, they find the ground quick. Not the Terra. The Terra's got some great glide on it, so as its highs ring out, it's still pushing forward nicely. And with that extra glide, you can actually turn some corners with this. And one shot I used to have with it, I'm trying to get back, is if you hit this thing on just the right angle of Anheuser, you would get some stupid far panning Anheisers out of it. And I really enjoyed that shot, especially in the woods. Used to have it, don't have it in my arsenal right now, but hopefully I can get it back. And lastly, when you want overstable that really finds the ground quick, you got a Plasma Fireball. This is from one of the beefier runs. This thing is just flat top. The colors are terrible, guys. I know, orange with that green and blue in the middle. Fortunately, though, I typically know where this disc is going when I throw it. It's just very reliable, especially forehand. It fits my hand very nicely. And really, I use it mostly for the pin to the left rough. Have to step out, hit that Anheuser forehand. Just very reliable. And yeah, I have some backups that are in better colors, but for now, this guy's flying great. So no reason to take it out of the bag now. And yeah, that's going to wrap up my fairway drivers for 2024. And wrapping things up, we have the distance drivers. Now, this has been the most radical change in my bag going into 2024 because I am only bagging 3 distance drivers. I had some other fission photons in the bag, but that just created some overlap and some indecision on the shots, and that's something you don't need in your head. So I dropped some of the fission photons that I was carrying, and I had a phase as well, but I found every time that I reached for it, things never went well. I always tried to do too much with it. I don't really find scenarios where I'm like facing down like a 25-mile-an-hour headwind and I want to bomb a disc for max distance. If I need an overstable driver shot, I just go to the Fireball. It feels better in my hand. I trust it more, and it produces for me. So I dropped the face because I found that the Fireball does what I need it to. I might not be able to sneak a birdie out in a crazy situation, but I definitely will get a par and not risk a bogey because I can rely on the Fireball to do what I need it to. So when I do need max distance though, starting off in the understable slot, I have this fission photon pre-flight number 163 gram, I guess at this point. I've kind of taken some chunks out of it. If you watch my round at Lenape Park, the Mando on hole 18 took a big chunk out of this disc, unfortunately. But that just made it more understable, which made me love it more. I love it for hyzer flips, big panning Anheuser shots, and I actually hit like a 700-foot roller the other day on the practice field. So yeah, if I have room to work with this thing, I'll let it go. But it is a little bit squirrely just because of how understable it is. So if I want something a little more controlled, I have this brand new pre-flight number fission photon, 167 gram. Only thrown it a few times now, and it is a bomber. I mean, just check the heartbeat. This boy is just nice and domey, good grip on it, and I can just let this thing rip and get a great little S shot out of it. Really looking forward to beating it in. Cycling pre-flight number fission photons is a lot of fun. If you have them, I got lucky and picked up a stack of 6. So I do have a nice little collection that should hold me over for the rest of my disc golf career, hopefully. But then if I need something more on the stable side, to overstable side, I have the Bria Bear fission photon. I've had this in the bag for a couple years now. This run was actually done with the Nikolai Tesla fission photons, and the notable feature of that run was the fission plastic they used. Super gummy. This disc is just really good feeling, really grippy. If I hit it clean and flat, basically these things hold on to their stability so well. If I hit it clean and flat, it's just going to go straight for me, maybe a little turn, not much, and then fade out reliably, pushing forward hyzer for good distance. And if I hit it with a little bit of Anheuser, I can stretch it out even more, but it'll always come back. I don't have to worry about losing this disc to the right, so it's just a reliable disc. Basically a good balance of distance and control. And yeah, with the 3 of these drivers, I pretty much have my max distance needs met. So didn't think I needed to bag anymore. I keep like, a backup or 2 maybe in the car in case I'm playing a 2-round event and something horrible happens. But yeah, the 3 of these in my bag got me covered. So those are my distance drivers for 2024, and that'll be my in the bag for 2024. I just want to say thank you to my sponsors. I'm proud to be sponsored in 2024 again by Phoenix Discs and Foundation Disc Golf. They've been great to me so far, and I'm looking forward to the future with them. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for all your support. I hope you've been enjoying the content. Looking forward to this year. This brand new camera is a beast. I'm learning still all the features on it. The more I learn, the cooler things I can do with it. So look forward to some better content this year. I'm looking forward to improving my disc golf game and my cinematography skills. So yeah, I just want to say, guys, thank you for all your support. If you have any questions for me, reach out. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care.